In what way is Eucharistic bread different from regular bread?
Sometimes we use sign language to make the songs that we sing more prayerful. I'd like to teach you the signs for a song called Table Prayer. Here they are. The first sign is for prepare. And the sign for prepare is that you put your hands like this as though you're preparing a table. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. And the sign for Lord is that you take your L finger and you bring it across and up. And then that repeats. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. And the first verse says, when I was hungry. The sign for hungry is you take your hand and you bring it down towards your stomach. When I was hungry, you gave me some bread to eat, as though you're receiving Eucharist. How beautiful. You take a circle and you trace your face and then open up. How wonderful. You take your two hands and you gently push out. And then the sign for blessed is like this. You take your two fingers up towards your lips and then bring them down and out, as though you're bestowing a blessing. The second verse says, when I was thirsty. And the sign for thirsty goes like this. You take your finger and you trace your throat. When I was thirsty, you gave me a cup to drink. How beautiful, how wonderful, how blessed are you. Those are the signs that we'll use for the song Table Prayer. And now let's try it with the tape. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. When I was hungry, you gave me some bread to eat. How beautiful, how wonderful, how blessed are you. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. When I was thirsty, you gave me a cup to drink. How beautiful, how wonderful, how blessed are you. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. How beautiful, how wonderful, how blessed are you, O Lord. How beautiful, how wonderful, how blessed are you. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. You prepare a table before us. How good of you, Lord. How good of you, Lord.
you sometimes feel that you have little to give others? Let's see what the children in this story find in their hearts that they have to give.
Once upon a time, between the apartment buildings and the screaming cars, children played. Whirling her jump rope through the air, Belinda sang out rhymes. Down the sidewalk by the bumpy street, Karen raced. Manuel merrily mixed mud cakes from the puddles in the lot. Jamal made chalk portraits of folks who lived on the street. The children on this block always found a way to play. Half swallowed up by a monster-sized coat, wearing raggy-baggy pants, old Ralph picked cans out of the trash. Ralph didn't recycle to save the environment. He did it because he needed the money for food. As he rummaged through the trash, the kids pretty much ignored him, until one day. It was a blustery Sunday afternoon when a great gust of wind caught the girls, tangling and tripping them up in the jump ropes, shoving them toward Jamal. Jamal yelled, "Yo, watch it! You'll mess up my picture!" The wind splashed muddy water up onto Manuel's clothes. Dripping with muck, he wandered over to the tumble of kids in the street. "No!" shrieked the children. "Don't get us wet!" They pushed and tussled and shouted some more. From across the street, Ralph watched the commotion. He set down his sack of cans and went over. Leaning over the pile of wrestling children, the scruffy man hollered, all right, you kids! Cool it! It's nobody's fault but the wind's." They stared. "Well, I'll tell you. The wind's always pushing us around in this life." They still scrapped and name-called. Suddenly, Ralph let loose a loud, shrill whistle. "Hey, like I told you, kids, it's the wind who started all the shoving here. Let me tell you what that wind can do. See this old broken coat? It used to sparkle. Money stuck out of every pocket. Then one fine day, the wind came after me. It grabbed me by the ankles, turned me upside down, and out fell my money. That wind snatched it right up. Last I saw, he took my money and bought himself a fancy Cadillac." "And that's why you're stuck picking up cans," Jamal said with a laugh. "You got that right, my man." The children all laughed. And for the first time in a long while, Ralph laughed too. "Yo, he was funny," said Manuel. "Funny, yeah. But did you see his torn-up clothes?" asked Jamal. "Yeah, I wish we could get him a new coat or something," Karen offered. "Right," mocked Belinda. "And just how are we going to help him?" "Wait," cried Manuel. "I'll make him a mud cake." "Say what?" exclaimed Jamal. "It's a joke, dude. The old man will get it. He's funny. I like him." "Forget it, Manuel," said Belinda. "The man doesn't want a joke. He needs something real." "Well, he can forget that too," moaned Karen. "We can't help Ralph. We don't have anything to give." Could Karen be right? The next afternoon, Ralph shuffled out of the church. "Yo, old man," called Jamal. "Any of those winds get you last night?" "Huh? Oh, no," muttered Ralph. "Sister Ann over at St. Stephen's let me sleep in the church basement." Ralph looked as sad today as he had been happy yesterday. Karen sprinted up, saw Ralph's long face, and asked, "Hey, what's with you, Ralph?" "I'll tell you what's with me. I'm getting so old the wind's ready to blow me right out of this rotten world," Ralph answered. Everyone wondered, why was Ralph so grumpy today? Manuel tried to cheer him up. "Hey, my main funny man, smile!" "Forget that," muttered Ralph. "I'm not feeling funny today." "So tell us, what's wrong?" asked Belinda. "Wrong? Wrong? Today is my birthday. That's what's wrong. And if I want to eat, I gotta get these cans in." "Oh," said Manuel. You're sad because you're getting old. That's not why I'm sad, explained Ralph. I don't care if I'm getting old. I just don't want to get old alone. Ralph hung his head and tugged at his sack of clattering cans. Can't we help him? Wondered Karen. Us? What do we have to give? Said Belinda. I can make him one of my famous mud cakes, offered Manuel. Disgusting! Shrieked Belinda. Hold it, interrupted Jamal. You just gave me an idea, my man, he said. Why can't we get Ralph a real birthday cake, and we can give it to him at a real birthday party? Everyone asked Jamal at once, What are you talking about? Check it out, Jamal said calmly. The children huddled around Jamal, listening to his plan, giving their opinions and coming up with some great ideas. Then they went into action. Karen had the fastest feet on the block. Dashing down the street, she collected empty bottles from the trash. It didn't take her long to trade them in for money the kids needed for the party. Then Manuel could make a real cake. Manuel met Belinda and her mother at the thrift shop. Together, they looked through a rack of winter coats until they found just the right one for Ralph. Big, roomy, and very warm. Then they traded 2 big boxes full of old clothes for it. Waiting in line, Belinda got an idea. I'm going to wrap Ralph's coat in the Sunday comics. He likes jokes, she said with a twinkle in her eye. While Ralph was off turning in his cans, the kids got the party ready in the church basement where he sometimes slept. Belinda's big, lumpy package sat on a rickety table right next to Manuel's homemade cake and a giant birthday card from Jamal. Karen and Belinda strung the jump ropes across the room and tied bright cans along them. Hush up, whispered Belinda. He's coming. The kids exploded. Surprise! Ralph's eyes widened with shock and delight. Hey, what did you go and do all this for? For your birthday! Happy birthday, Ralph! They all screamed. Open your present, Ralph, Belinda insisted as she handed it to him. Ralph smiled as he accepted the children's gift. We hope you like it, said Karen. Like it, said Ralph. Let's just say that I'm blown away. Wait, cried Manuel. Jamal, show Ralph the card. Yeah, what do we have here? Said Ralph as he opened Jamal's card. Oh, now that's beautiful, Ralph declared. Looking at the card, they saw themselves together with the old man. The children knew they too had received a gift, their new friendship with Ralph.
What good things did the children see in each other? How did they show their love for Ralph? Jesus' followers, who share the bread of life, are asked to care for others. As you watch this video, think of how you can be more like Jesus in your everyday life. In Mario's school, there is a special program called Postal Service. Children write letters to other children. Everyone has their own address, and the students take turns delivering the mail. Some of the children get lots of letters, but Mario never receives a letter. Think. If Jesus went to that school, what do you think he would do? What would you do? Mrs. Smith is elderly. Timmy, her neighbor, sees her having difficulty carrying the grocery bags from her car to the house. Think. If Jesus saw her, what do you think he would do? If you saw her, what would you do? Keith's mom works hard at her job, and she cares for her family. Dinner time at Keith's house is hectic. It's not easy to cook dinner and set the table. Think. If Jesus were at this home, what do you think he would do? If you were Keith, what would you do? In Michelle's parish one Sunday, one of the parishioners tells the people about families in the neighborhood who lack the money for food. She says the parish has a food pantry, which is almost empty. So she is asking people to prepare baskets of food which can be given to needy families. Think. If Jesus heard this message, what do you think he would do? If you